Hello, we are Group B from 1304. Today we are going to talk about the topic of measuring international trade and finance. Before we start off, let us explain the various terms we will be using. The balance of payments, or BOP in short, is a comprehensive record of international receipts and payments between the residents of and government of a country and the rest of the world over a period of time, usually a calendar year. It consists of the current account and the capital account. The current account records receipts from the export of goods and services, as well as payments made for the import of goods and services during the current period. The capital or financial account records the flow of funds in and out of the country for investments, and is associated with the change of ownership of assets. Foreign exchange refers to the trading of one country's currency for another country's currency. For example, US dollar for Singapore dollars. We have chosen Singapore and India for the two countries of our research. Firstly, this is some information on the BOP of the two countries from 2008 to 2012. This graph shows that Singapore's BOP is in surplus and is increasing over the years from 2008 to 2012, with the exception of years 2009 and 2011, where the BOP surplus fell. India's BOP, on the other hand, in the time period of 2008 to 2012, has always been in deficit. In general, India's BOP decreases over the 5 years, with the exception of 2008 to 2009, where it increased. The current account of Singapore has always been positive while increasing, with the exception of year 2008 to 2009. The fall was due to the global financial crisis, which resulted in a recession and high unemployment. Foreigners' national income fell and export revenue decreased. As a result, credits fell. However, the current account increased as Singapore hosted the 2009 Formula One race and 2010 Asian Youth Games. Attracting more tourists, the amount of credit rose. In 2010, the flooding occurred and shops at Singapore's main shopping district, Orchard Road, was damaged, causing the tourism industry to suffer, and thus credits fell. In 2011, the opening of the MBS or Marina Bay Sands attracted many tourists to Singapore, and therefore the rise in current account. Whereas for India, its current account has always been negative with a decreasing trend. From the 1980s, due to import liberalization, there have been large amounts of capital goods and modern technology. As such, import expenditure rose quickly. Oil is India's most expensive import. Its import bill rose 40% to 140 billion in 2011 to 2012. Altogether, India's import expenditure is far greater than export revenue, resulting in a negative current account. The capital account of Singapore was in deficit. Due to the global financial crisis in 2008, portfolio investments decreased as foreign investors invested less funds in Singapore. Therefore, the capital account decreased. In 2009, the Formula One race and Asian Youth Games attracted foreign investors to Singapore, increasing the funds injected into Singapore. In 2010, due to the MRT breakdowns and flooding, investments were discouraged. In 2011, the opening of the MBS gave foreign investors a possible profitable avenue to invest in. Therefore, investments and hence FA or financial account increased. The capital account of India in general decreases over the years. There was a sharp decrease from a surplus in 2009 to 2011 to a deficit in 2012. During the third quarter of 2008, India's capital account balance turns negative, mainly as inflows, which equate to about $70 billion, while outflows were $73.6 billion. This was due to the inflows and outflows under the portfolio investments, banking capital, foreign direct investments, external commercial borrowings, and short-term trade credit, India experienced an outflow of funds. In 2010, its capital account surplus has been increasingly feeding the deficit. The surplus comes from accelerating short-term inflows such as trade credit and rate-sensitive commercial borrowings and banking capital. When a country enjoys a BOP surplus, it means that in that year, more money has flowed into the economy than it has flowed out. This surplus yields the country a net increase in money. But do remember that this money is manifested in terms of foreign currencies. In order for the recipients or local people of this money to use this money within their own economies, they will have to exchange it with someone for local currency. But the notion of a BOP surplus means that there aren't enough local dollars that are put in exchange for those foreign dollars, which is why there is a surplus of these foreign dollars to begin with. If the country has a freely floating exchange rate system, in which the exchange rate of the currency against other currencies is determined by market forces, that is, by the interactions of demand for and supply of that currency, then a BOP surplus, which means more money is coming in from other countries than money in going out, would mean that the demand for that country's currency is greater than the supply of that currency, which would then suggest that the exchange rate of the currency will appreciate or rise in value against other currencies. The appreciation should eventually reverse the money flows, causing inflows to decline and outflows to rise. Since appreciation makes exports more expensive to foreigners and imports cheaper to local households, the BOP should restore its equilibrium.